Welcome back to BikeBeat. The name Hayabusa doesn't need an introduction. For over 2 decades, it's been a symbol of raw power, extreme speed, and unmistakable design. If you know bikes, you know the Hayabusa. And for 2025, Suzuki's flagship hypersport machine returns, not reinvented, but refined, sharpened, and evolved to meet the demands of today's riders, without losing that aggressive edge that made it a legend. Let's get one thing clear from the start. The 2025 Hayabusa isn't chasing top speed records anymore. It doesn't need to. It already made history. What Suzuki has done instead is build a machine that balances the ferocity of a superbike with the maturity and precision of a grand tourer. This isn't a 200 horsepower rocket that demands sacrifice. This is a 190 horsepower scalpel with a seat you can sit in for hours. Starting with the looks, Suzuki stayed close to the Gen 3 design language introduced in 2021, but with subtle tweaks that make it more aerodynamic and visually aggressive. The front end now sports a sharper LED headlight unit with integrated DRLs that give it a piercing stare. The side profile is more sculpted, with revised fairing intakes that channel air better, not just for cooling but for stability at speed. Even the tail section has seen refinements, with cleaner lines, a slimmer profile, and updated LED lighting. Suzuki has clearly leaned into what riders loved about the Gen 3 and simply polished it. This is a bike that turns heads at a standstill and looks even better carving through a canyon or blasting down a straight. The proportions are classic Hayabusa: long, low, and muscular, but every surface feels more purposeful now. More refined. Every vent, every line, every panel has a job to do. But under that skin, the soul of the Hayabusa still lives. The 1,340 cubic centimeters inline-4 engine remains, and that's a good thing. This motor is legendary for a reason. In 2025, it produces 190 horsepower at 9,700 RPM and a meaty 150 Nm of torque at 7,200 RPM. But those numbers only tell part of the story. It's the way this engine delivers power that defines the ride. From as low as 3,000 RPM, you feel the torque building. By 6,000, you're already grinning. Past 8,000? You're holding on. Suzuki has worked on engine internals this year: lighter pistons, revised cam profiles, reduced friction across several components. The result is a smoother throttle, quicker response, and better heat management. You can feel the refinement. It's less about brute force now and more about precision. Still fast, still thrilling, but now it's a fast that you can control, enjoy, and repeat all day long. And yes, it's still blisteringly quick. 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds, quarter mile in around 3 seconds, and an electronically limited top speed of 186 miles per hour. That's still more performance than 99% of riders will ever need, and yet, somehow, the bike makes it feel accessible. The bidirectional quickshifter now comes standard, and it's better than ever. Upshifts are lightning quick, and downshifts are perfectly rev-matched. Combine that with Suzuki's ride-by-wire throttle and the refined gearbox, and gear changes become nearly telepathic. This isn't just about speed. It's about fluidity. About being connected to the machine. And when it comes to handling, Suzuki has struck a balance few other manufacturers can match. The frame is a twin-spar aluminum unit that remains largely unchanged, but subtle tweaks to rigidity and geometry give the 2025 model a more planted feel mid-corner. At 264 kilograms, it's not light, but once moving, the Hayabusa hides its weight beautifully. Whether you're tipping into a high-speed sweeper or weaving through tighter bends, the chassis communicates clearly, and the suspension keeps things controlled. The KYB front forks and monoshock rear are fully adjustable and have been retuned for 2025 to offer a better compromise between sport and comfort. This is a bike you can ride aggressively on Sunday and tour with on Monday. High-speed stability is superb, thanks in part to the aerodynamic bodywork and also to a slightly revised swing arm that improves weight distribution under acceleration. Braking performance is another area where Suzuki has stepped up. The front is now equipped with dual 320mm discs clamped by Brembo Stylema calipers, some of the best in the business. Feel at the lever is immediate and progressive, and the rear brake complements it well with a 260mm disc and a Nissan caliper. But it's the electronics that really elevate the system. Using a 6-axis IMU, the Hayabusa features cornering ABS, lean-sensitive traction control, engine braking control, launch control, cruise control, and even hill hold assist. The suite is wrapped up in what Suzuki calls the SIRS. Suzuki Intelligent Ride System, and it gives the rider control without getting in the way. You can set up profiles to your liking, swap between 3 preset riding modes, or customize your own. Whether you want to disable traction control entirely for track days, or soften throttle response for wet weather commuting, you've got options. All of this is controlled via a modern TFT display flanked by analog speedometer and tachometer dials. It's a layout that blends the old with the new, a nod to the Hayabusa's legacy while embracing modern usability. The interface is clean, bright even in sunlight, and intuitive to navigate. The switchgear has been updated, to better feel, cleaner layout, and now finally backlit for night riding. But here's the part that surprises most people: the Hayabusa is actually comfortable. At 800mm seat height, it's approachable. The handlebars are slightly raised compared to traditional superbikes, taking pressure off your wrists. The seat is plush, wide, and supportive for long hauls. Wind protection is excellent at highway speeds, thanks to the sculpted fairing and windscreen. Heated grips are optional in most markets and a welcome addition if you're planning year-round rides. Pillion comfort isn't forgotten either. The redesigned tail section accommodates a better seat and integrated grab handles. It's no Goldwing, but for short to medium 2-up rides, it'll more than do the job. Suzuki's offering the 2025 Hayabusa in 3 striking colors this year. There's the Pearl Vigor Blue with matte black that screams modern muscle. The classic glass sparkle black paired with candy daring red for a more aggressive stealth look. And the standout metallic matte sword silver with candy burnt gold, and elegant, almost regal combination that adds sophistication to the muscle. If you want to personalize your Hayabusa, Suzuki's got you covered. The accessories catalog includes smoked windscreens, tank pads, billet levers, touring luggage kits, and even a Yoshimura titanium slip-on that adds a sharper edge to the exhaust note. All factory fit, all warranty friendly. Now for the big question: price. In the US, the 2025 Hayabusa comes in at $19,599. In the UK, it's priced at around £17,299. In India, where it's imported as a CBU, it retails for 17.8 Indian rupees lakhs ex-showroom. When you stack that up against European superbikes or even Kawasaki's own aging ZX-14R, the Hayabusa starts to look like a bit of a bargain. You're getting top-tier engineering, a full electronics suite, high-speed capability, and everyday comfort all in one package. So what's the takeaway? The 2025 Hayabusa isn't trying to be something it's not. It's not the lightest bike, nor the most aggressive track machine. But it doesn't need to be. It knows exactly what it is: a high-speed, high-tech, hyper-comfortable supersport for real-world riding. It's about speed you can live with, performance you can control, and legacy you can feel in every twist of the throttle. For longtime fans, this is the mature Hayabusa you've been waiting for. For newcomers, this is your chance to experience one of motorcycling's true legends updated for the modern world. The Hayabusa remains iconic, not because it shouts the loudest, but because it knows exactly when to roar and when to glide. And in 2025, that roar is more refined than ever. Thanks for watching BikeBeat. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that like button, subscribe for more rides, reviews, and test rides, and tell us in the comments: is the new Hayabusa your dream machine or just a refined relic? Ride safe, ride smart, and we'll see you on the next one.